My name is Brian Andrade, and today I'm just going to talk to you about Mr. Terkelsen. He's a great person, well-driven, great attitude. That's the main three things about him. He doesn't tell you when you're failing, just keep failing, I don't care about you. He says, come here, I'm going to teach you. Want to stay after school? I'm here after school, I'll teach you. Come here early, I'll teach you that too. He does not want you to fail. And that's what he does in his classes, is he teaches you to succeed. And really just not only in school, not only in his class, but in life, he wants you to succeed.
Hi, my name is Griffin Ostrowski. I had Mr. Terkelsen as a Latin teacher for 2 years. One of the reasons I have always loved Mr. Terkelsen as a teacher is that he wasn't just all business and here are the assignments and get to work. He was a very close friend and confidant. And that is why, to this day, 5 or 6 years after I graduate high school, I still talk to him. We still email each other about how we're doing in each other's lives, and I still go to him for guidance. And he has always been there for me.
Hi, my name is Emma Keene, and I am one of Mr. T's former Latin students. I am now going to be a sophomore in college at UMass Amherst, and I can honestly say Mr. T is still one of my favorite all-time teachers. Even though Latin isn't always thought of as being one of the most exciting classes, it was the one I most looked forward to during the day. Mr. T always put in the extra work to make sure the class was challenging enough for those who were quicker learners, but also at a pace that everyone could excel at. But what I truly cherish are the many, many hilarious yet serious life lessons. Luckily, I collected some of the great moments in class over the years in these quote jars. So when I need a laugh or a homemade fortune cookie, I have something to turn to. Thank you, Mr. T.
He's just a really great teacher. I've had him for 5 years. He's my favorite teacher I've ever had. Best. Absolute best. Latin is not easy and it's not for everyone, but if you take it with Mr. Terkelsen and you do your best to succeed, you will succeed, and the benefits are so worth it. It will help you on your SATs in college. It will help you expand your knowledge in English. Latin is so worth it. I highly recommend it, and Mr. Terkelsen will help you every step of the way.
My name is Sam Boyles. I am a 2016 graduate of Sacred Heart High School in Kingston, Mass. I started Latin in 7th grade, and we had a wonderful teacher at the school, and he actually passed away my freshman year of high school. My sophomore year, the school elected to switch to an online kind of system. It just wasn't for me and my classmates. We ended up doing much worse on the National Latin exam that year. Mr. Terkelsen came in my junior year, and he recognized that we had kind of fallen behind. He took the time, rather than just kind of force the issue of where we should have been, he took the time to try to rebuild those fundamentals that we had with our first teacher. I've never had him as a tutor. I've only ever had him as a teacher, but the school that I went to, the classes were so small. I think we had 6 kids in our Latin class. And so I feel like I know how Mr. Terkelsen would be as a tutor. He's a great guy. A friend of mine now, so yeah, rock on Mr. Terkelsen.
Hi, I'm Landon Howell, former Latin student of Mr. Terkelsen. Mr. Terkelsen has taught me Latin for 3 years and has provided the most warm and welcoming classroom experience I think I've ever had. He just bonds really closely with his students. It's a quality of a teacher that I don't see often, and is one that I cherish greatly. And even to this day, I'm still keeping in touch with him. He's still a friend of mine, even if he's not a teacher. And that makes him one of my favorite teachers of my high school career.
I love how happy he is when he's talking about Latin, when he's working. And it's sometimes he's just in such a good mood, you just can't be upset around him. And I think that that's a really cool thing. With certain teachers, you can really tell how passionate they are about their work. He really loves teaching us. He just is such a happy person, it seems like, when he's doing what he's doing. and it always just seems to bring him joy when he's teaching us kids, and I think that that's really cool because you can really see that in a teacher, and it really rubs off on you as a student when your teacher is so positive about their work and they're really into it, and it makes you really into it, and it always makes me smile when I walk into his classroom. He was always really observant. He always could really tell when you were in a good mood and when something was wrong. Something else that stuck out to me was there have been multiple occasions where I'll hand in work like late at night with the whole quarantine situation, and I can email him at 10 o'clock at night and he will respond.
Mr. Terkelsen is a once-in-a-lifetime teacher. His knowledge, passion, dedication, and heart are rare in a teacher today. Mr. T is the kind of teacher who will spend hours and hours planning lessons and grading work to make sure his students are getting the best instruction and the best feedback possible. Even between teaching normal workloads and teaching virtual high school, Mr. T always finds time to help his students, providing extra tutoring and practice work. Having spent 6 years as a student, I can attest firsthand to the effort he puts into his teaching and his assistance of students.
Now, I had his class starting back in 7th grade, and I continued to take it all the way until I graduated from high school. And by that time, Mr. T was more to me than just a teacher. He was an incredibly close friend of mine. He does such a good job engaging with students on a personal level, just being able to have a conversation with them and get to know them. It doesn't have to be about Latin, but he can talk to somebody for hours about anything. I got a book out of his class. Now, a lot of people might not get super jazzed about the Oxford Classical Dictionary, but believe it or not, there's a lot of interesting stuff in there that has continued to influence my work through college. I'm a junior at RISD at the moment, and I'm studying to be an illustrator. And the things that he taught me from that class, all of those myths, the history of a long dead culture, the people who led it, all of these subjects serve as consistent inspiration for the work that I do today.
Mr. Terkelsen, or Mr. T, was such a wonderful teacher to have this year. He taught me many things about Latin, including history and culture from where it came from, how grammar works in Latin, Roman numerals, and so much more to say. And he often was a great teacher to have a good laugh with.
As a parent, you hope that during your child's education, he will encounter educators and content that really inspires him and has a lasting impression, and maybe helps uncover some of his passions. And David Terkelsen, or T as the students call him, has been an example of both of those things for my son. And to this day, he still maintains contact with Mr. Terkelsen, and they share a passion for Latin and other things as well. And it's been really great for my son to get to know him and see the impact that he's had on him as he's matured into a young man.
An immense supporter in my life for years, and that's the kind of teacher everyone wants to have in their life.